Hi everyone, it's Nathara, and today I'm going to be going over the Encore pack Starry Ocean. And just a quick reminder, you only get what's listed in the pack contents right here. You do not get the display outfit they use to showcase the item. So today I'm going to be going over the Chat Bubble Floral Fish, the half-length pose Shell Secret, of course the Scene Stellar Wanderer, and the dynamic pose Mermaid's Love. Alright, and here is your scene at a glance from like an overview, kind of what the 3D assets look like without being like right front and center where they just want you to look. It is just like an underwater temple. I mean, bits of it don't really make too much sense to me, like the candles being lit with like an actual flame color. I think I would have preferred it had they used like maybe a green color to make it not look like regular fire, maybe like a magic fire that can be underwater, you know, but that's like a super small nitpick. Pillars with leaves on top, a podium, let's see, a staircase that goes down into this little kind of like canal. You'd have some jellyfish floating around. It is just an image that kind of like shrinks and stretches on itself and disappears, I guess, if you look at them weird. And we've all seen this little statue of the angel, or I guess it's actually a cherub on a ball. We have that one scattered in here. Not much beyond, it is just the open world out there. You do have the water detailing up top with sunlight that filters through, which is very pretty. Back here, you do have this kind of like mystical bubble column that I always think is kind of like a teleport system. I don't know why I think that, but every time I look at it, I just kind of think, oh, that's where the mermaids come to teleport in and out. Really niche, I guess, but yeah, that's what I think of whenever I see it. You can't actually get your camera back that far though, which is kind of sad because I would really like to be able to get my camera back there and have my doll posing over there. Your doll can reach back there just fine, but you as the camera holder cannot. And again, up top, you do get into the light streaks, and there's kind of like mist in here. And they do have a very realistic, oh my gosh, realistic looking water ripple system right there. I mean, you can't see the outlying like circle where it ends and everything, but it is really pretty. And I like the glimmering effect that kind of hits down below on top of the rocks. It's gorgeous. You do have a few little bubble spots that come up from a few of the plants. There's a few little fish that go around. The underwater like destroyed palace, it's like I said, I can't even call it a palace. It really does seem like kind of like an entrance or a portal way or something by itself. And here's your posable area, and this is actually one of the scenes where, do you see this black splotch right here? It's like one of these super shiny scenes. This happens in a few of them that have this spot like this. Whenever you go into the scene, sometimes it just kind of like blacks out, but it does go away when you take like a photo. The scene will render properly, so you do have to fight with that sometimes just to like work around whatever makes this bug happen. I'm honestly just not too sure, but the posable area is rather large, so you can go all about, and you can get up on top of this like archway and in these streaks of light. And unfortunately, that black bug effect does follow you into wardrobe. So again, this doesn't happen too often, but it does happen often enough that I personally find it a little annoying, and so I tend to stay away from the scenes that do this to me. Here is the lighting from the front, the lighting from the right, the lighting from the back, and the lighting from the left. I definitely prefer the left over the right. I just feel like the lighting is just a touch better. And here's the lighting on the lightest and darkest shade. With this one, I do have some issues. If I pushed like the retouch settings a little bit too much, I lose the detailing in the paler doll and also the darker doll. I'm not too sure why that happens. I'm not the biggest color theorist or whatever, or understanding why this happens. You can bring the definition back in the paler doll if you kind of like bring down the halo and everything, and then maybe pop a filter on, but then you lose the darker doll. But again, you can bring that halo back up and turn that vignette down, bring the contrast back down, and maybe just put another filter on her to bring that up, but then you lose the detailing on the paler doll. So I mean, as long as you're not posing with two very end of the bar tones, you should be able to work with both of them just fine. But of course, you can always find that happy medium where they both look good. I mean, I think on the regular settings it looks fine. Like, yeah, I just put white tower on, and it didn't do too much to the darker doll, but it did just add a bit of definition back into the paler doll to where you can still like see her like collarbones and everything. That's what I look at. That's what I judge. If I to see if something's being washed out too much, I look at the collarbones. So that's why I'm always focusing on that. And here is our half-length pose, Shell Secret. She does look pretty cute altogether. Again, I'm on PC, so the automatic angle on PC isn't correct. The camera angle should be up a bit more, but for me, or for PC users, it's just messed up, versus where if you're on mobile and you're looking at this, the auto angle will be correct and you won't have to like move the camera around to get the pose to look correct. But it is a super cute little pose. I love the way she's looking up and the way her hands cup and the wink. It's adorable. Here it is with just one hand. Might be useful. I'd probably put a different expression on. And with another hand, I really like this. This is really cute. Again, I'd probably put on a different expression to make her a bit more fun and quirky. And a two-hand held. And with focus on, let me scoot in just a little bit actually. Pretty cute. Alright, and here's the dynamic pose mermaids love. This one's gonna take me a bit to follow on. She does come in over here on the right. We'll see if I can get this to just follow her appropriately. Obviously, this whole scene pack is definitely fit for the people who love the mermaid sort of stuff. I love that little bubble heart, and I love how it explodes. I love how she comes forward right then. That's really good if you wanted to have like, you know, a superhero fly forward. She does float up, oh my gosh, and then disappears and the whole thing starts over. Definitely some good angles in this one. We don't really get too many like this. And here it is with the tail. The tail is animated for this. I mean, you saw the feet moving as well. They do still like move in case you do get the scene pack and you don't have the tail, don't worry, but also do note that if you put on the dynamic pose, the tail isn't going to spawn in. You do still have to have that item to get the tail. And for our expression for Shell Secret, it is a cute little wink. But that's all it is. It is just a wink, but we don't actually have too many of these, so I'm okay with it. And our expression for Mermaid's Love. Wow. That's go on, girl, give us nothing. So, oh, well, that was kind of cute where she blows the heart, I guess. Alright, right, so not a whole lot with that expression. I think that one's definitely more meant to like accompany the tail, and it's there for the body pose. All right, and now I'm going to click through the filters so you can kind of see how you might be able to change the ambiance of this scene to fit whatever type of mermaid outfit you are trying to make. And for our retouch settings, here's our vignette. Our halo, as you would suspect, it gets ultra bright and pretty glittery with all of the little sparkles that are always glinting about. And our DOF. The scene is rather long, so it'll come in handy for full body and portrait mode. Our white balance. If you want a seasick green or an ultra Barbie princess sea world. Oh goodness, that kind of hurt my eyes. Look, I wonder, it almost looked like the Eye of Sauron in there. And for our saturation, really pump up the blues. This is a very blue-based scene. And for our contrast, as for hotspots, I can't really say there are too many that I've found. I truthfully do not use this scene too much. Despite really liking the mermaid thing, I just wish there was a bit more to the scene. It does feel a little bit repetitive, and the fact that I cannot get my camera back here despite being able to get my doll back there is really sad. Like, this is as close as I can get, and I would like to just be a bit closer, you know? Like, I don't want all this extra debris on the left and the right to get in the way of my photo shot, and I just want to get a bit closer to see what she looks like inside of there. But that is a huge glow spot, and you do kind of just pop right in and out. And then of course, this isn't a glow spot per se, but there are these light streaks that you can kind of get into up here to get that same effect. And I have posed on top of this like little pillar before. I really like the way it looks, and now that I can actually make it look like she's speared on it, it's really nice. And that is actually this thing right here. So yeah, I really do like this positioning right here, though I do understand that not many people are gonna have that posture, but there are other poses where you are leaned back to make it look like you are speared on that. I know that's not everyone's thing, and probably no one was thinking, hey, how can I spear my doll on this thing? But I was, and there it is. A little bit morbid, yeah, but you know, gotta get creative. I can't really think of any other ways I've really used this scene. Well, actually, hold on. You do actually have a fairly good sink on this one as well. I totally forgot to mention that earlier, but you can get down here in this little waterway. This reminds me of like, I know I probably bring up SpongeBob a lot, but you know, in the ocean, they're under the ocean, but they still have like sources of water. So this is like that too. There's a river under the ocean that's definitely very separate from the ocean that's sitting on top of it. Maybe this is like an enchanted freshwater river underneath the salty ocean, and that's why it can look like this. All right, that's my headcanon for this now. But I have been down in here. I've had a pose where she was laid on the staircase once. It wasn't with this posture, it was definitely some finagling I did with another pose, and it took me like literally ages to do it. But I did do that once. I don't, like I said before, I just don't use this scene too often. This is like a really weird gripe I have too. This is so nitpicky, but like I hate this wall right here. Like it stands out so much because it just looks like, you know, the roll down gates people have like for storms or whatever, and like shops have that have, you know, typically like graffiti all over them. But that's what that reminds me of, and it looks so out of place, and my eyes always gravitate towards it instantly. Every single time I pop into this scene, I see that wall and I'm like, ugh, it just doesn't match. And I wish it wouldn't have been there, or if it was, it would have been like a marble wall or just another big rock. I know that's super silly to like pick on or harp on, but like I just can't unsee it for some reason. Oh, but yeah, no, besides that, I like the little scattered shells and the starfish, my gosh, and the rocks. And I like that there is a bit of grass debris. It is very clearly just pictures that like morph on themselves, but it's not super overloaded where the scene kind of like taxes your processor or anything. There are some wiggly bushes. Again, I wish that the wiggly bushes weren't here and it was just all seaweed, because the bushes don't make too much sense. But I'm gonna let that slide because they just don't have that many plant assets and they're just gonna reuse whatever they can. Oh my gosh, I have all of like these retouch settings on. I'm so sorry. Let me undo that. I also have a filter on. Oh, okay, anyway, I don't know what's up with this brick walkway right here either. I don't mind that one as much because when you are down below, you don't really notice it because there is this like marble, I think it's not railing because it's not above, and it's almost like an eave. I don't know, not an eave. Is it an eave? It like hangs down. I don't know. Anyway, I'm being super weird about this right now. I don't know why, but I do like the scene overall. I love the poses that it comes with, especially the half-length pose. I think it's adorable, and you can really play with the filters and colors in here to really change the scene around. And again, if you really like mermaids, this is a great scene for you. And here is our chat bubble, Floral Fish. I do believe this is one of the few times they've given us a chat bubble that is in theme with the scene pack as a whole. So that's really interesting. I do actually kind of like this one. I like the little bubbles that come out of the top, though you can't really see it because I did pair it with a kind of like oceany background, so it's hard to see those bubbles filtering out. I do like the little leaves and the little fish that's diving in throughout. The text is black, obviously, and the background of the chat bubble is just a solid blue, so it's not too bad. But that is everything I have for the Starry Ocean scene pack. I hope you found this useful and helpful in deciding if you would like to add it to your collection or not. And as always, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye!